So this is homework number 3 in the functional photography unit, and today we're going to think about how to light our objects. So the learn objective is to learn how to compose and take a well-lit still life. So you might be thinking, what is a still life? Well, a still life is a work of art depicting or showing mostly inanimate objects. That's objects that don't move. Most often it's common objects around, or it could be food, they could be man-made or natural. It's up to flowers, bowls of fruit, all kinds of things. So these are just some examples of different still lives that I found on the internet. There's a real mixture there. So have a look at them and have a look at where you think the lighting is coming from on them. So lighting makes a photograph good or bad. If the lighting's wrong, it will look awful, or you might not get a photograph at all if it's too dark. If it's too bright, it'll be washed out. That means it's really white and you can't see the detail. So we're going to look at a few images and have a look at the direction of the light. Now, most of these images have got 2 light sources, but we're not going to go into that. It's too complicated to explain. But we're looking at where is the main light source. So in this one, we're going to look at where are the highlights, where are the bright points in the image. So in this case, the main direction of light is coming from kind of right in front, but as you look at it, as you would look through the camera, to the left. So here we're looking at the highlights are here and here and here and here. So the chances are the majority of the light is coming from this direction. There is an extra light in here where I said some of them, as I said, will have 2 light sources. This will have an extra one because it'll light that rim up there. But let's not worry about that. This one's quite easy. This is obviously a product photograph of a controller, an Xbox controller, and the light source is from the top because everything else is in shadow. And if you look at the shadow, it's even along the bottom of the controller. This one is backlit. So the light, this is the light source is coming in, it's lighting up the dandelion and the tiny little jar. This one has got what we call diffuse light. So it's an outside shot of 2 ladders and 2 plants and this wall arrangement here. And it's a cloudy day, so the clouds helped to diffuse or spread an even light, and it's quite a dull photograph. This one is exactly the opposite. It's a bright sunny day and the light is coming from this direction because if you look at the shadows here, both have their places. It depends what the photograph is taken for. So what am I going to get you to do this week? So you need to choose a number of objects and arrange them in still life. They can be any objects, so for instance 3 apples like this one here, or 3 man-made objects excuse me, man-made objects like these ones here. It doesn't have to be 3, it can be a collection of however many you want, but it's got to be more than 1. I suggest that you use an odd number because they always work best in compositions. What do you need to think about this week? Well, all the things we've thought about so far: depth of field, composition, the rules of composition. But in particular, we're looking at the backgrounds and the surfaces that you put in your objects on, where you're going to get the light source from, the main light source, and where you're going to put it, and the layout of the objects, how have you arranged them. And whatever you do, don't use the flash on your mobile phone. So you're saying, well, how, you might be thinking, how can we do this when we've not got any studio lights? Well, you can use a torch or someone else's mobile phone, the torch function on that. You could use any kind of lamps you've got. If you've got a kitchen that's got under cupboard lighting, you could use that. You could put your objects under that. You could use some fairy lights. You could use window light, obviously during the day. Daylight, so you could take your stuff outside and use bright light, or if it's a cloudy day, use diffuse light. You could use a candle, but only under adult supervision. Please don't burn your house down. You could use the light from some kind of screen, so a computer or TV or a tablet, see how that works. You could equally use car, motorbike or cycle headlights as well, but please ask permission before you use them. So what is your outcome? You can have a series of 4 photographs, all taken of the same object, or objects, sorry. All 4 photographs are going to be taken using a different arrangement of light or a different light source. I want you to label them up, what kind of light you've used and the direction of your light. So look forward to seeing what you've done this week, and happy snapping.